Hey everyone, Random Randy here. This is Yarn Talk episode 69. For those of you new to the channel, Yarn Talk is a quasi-weekly, most of the times weekly, but with how things have been lately, every other week or so-ish, knitting, crochet, and fiber arts podcast, guaranteed to give you your recommended dose of fiber arts in 60 minutes or less. If you are concerned that your fiber intake may be lower than the recommended dosage, you might want to subscribe to the channel to guarantee that more awesome projects like these will keep your hands and your heart full. I don't have nearly as much stuff as I should, considering how long it's been since I did a legit podcast, but I do have a lot of other things that I've been working on. I have a whole container of yarn that I've dyed recently. I have a few things that I've sewn. I have been working on some crochet stuff, but it's mostly been bigger projects, so I feel like even though I've been making lots of progress, I don't really have a lot of things done to speak of. So I guess I will start with the very few paltry things that I do actually have finished. And sadly, that is only two teeny tiny things that I actually made completely start to finish yesterday. This is a quasi flapjack octopus. It has a little wiggly skirt here, and the colors are going to be kind of off and a touch brighter on everything than they should be, because it's raining like crazy right here, right now, and the only light I have is an artificial one over here. So octopus, it is the normal body pattern that I use from, I believe it's Sarah Hearn, and the bottom portion, I don't remember who it was, but I'll link to the pattern for that below, because essentially in the actual pattern for the flapjack octopus, it has you go in the front loops only here, and then make the skirt, and then you make the bottom portion separate after you stuff it and sew it all together. So yeah, kind of wiggly, blobby, rainbow colored critter. This yarn is Rainbow Bright. It is a loops and threads yarn. It's impeccable. It's worsted weight, but yeah, it's pretty cute because I do have a craft fair next month. As of right now, that might have to change, but I'll talk about that later. And the other thing, I just made this little guy yesterday. If I can get it to focus so you'll actually be able to see the details. This is a little amigurumi voodoo doll, or poppet, or whatever you would like to call it. And no, voodoo dolls, like most tools, are not in and of themselves a negative thing. Voodoo dolls are actually part of, here's your little woo, non-monotheistic religious lesson for the day. Voodoo dolls, when used in regular poppet magic, are actually used for healing, not for harming. But being a tool, they are actually gray. They are neither white nor black, and they can be used for good or evil depending upon the intents of the creator and user. Now, if you were going to use this for any ritual thing, other than it just being a nifty little decoration, you'd want to be adding some sort of bit of the intended person. I'm going to say for healing purposes, because I think that purposely doing magic to harm someone, or anything to purposely harm someone, is not a good thing. So for healing, you would have to add some sort of bit of the person to this likeness, whether it was fingernails, blood, spit, hair, other fluids and parts that we won't talk about. Yeah, but originally intended to be a healing thing, not a harming thing. But I think it's cute anyway, and this basic body type you could use for a dozen other things. But I'm going to be making a video tutorial for this, hopefully sometime in the near future, potentially this afternoon if I can get this done quick enough and get it done before my kids and my husband get home. I might end up just doing the video part and then do a voiceover just so I can get it done. Probably be the easiest way. Anyhow, super teeny tiny, mega cute, and this yarn is the Spice colorway from Hirschner's in their Worsted 8 yarn. It's also acrylic. Teeny tiny. So those are the only two things I have done. Isn't that horrible? The other thing that I have mostly done, I still need to do part of it. This is something that I'm going to be doing to use up some scraps. I know everybody's been making eyeball shawls, and I thought it would be kind of cool to make an eyeball hat since Halloween is nearly upon us. And I'm planning on doing some surface crochet to make some veins through here so it looks a bit bloodshot. But this is just standard beanie fit with a ribbed brim. It looks like a white hat, but when you tip it down, obviously, eyeball. So that's one of the things I have on my list of stuff to make a few more of. Because I have a lot of weirdly toned yarns that don't really go with anything else right now. So I thought something like this where I could use part of it up would be a good way to get it gone. So there's that. Do I have anything else finished? Oh, I have this, which is for Hunter. This is nearly finished, so I guess you can call this a work in progress. This is just a hat for him. I'm going to be putting little squares and the straight mouth on it, so this looks like a creeper from Minecraft, because Hunter is Minecraft obsessed. And this is Red Heart Super Saver Glowworm. It really is pretty bright. Obviously the screen is making it explode, and now all of a sudden the sun is shining even though it's still raining, so I've got extra light on this side. No light here. So much drama lighting. But I'm planning to also make him a pair of fingerless gloves to go with this. Other things. I have so many things I'm working on that like I said, I feel like I finished pretty much nothing. So this is something that I started a long time ago for Killian. It's been on his bed for quite some time. He is starting to outgrow it, so I'm attempting to make it bigger so it's still usable for him. This was just a round blanket, and I'm not really going to be able to show it because it's hard for me to stretch it, but I'm working on squaring it up so that it will be essentially a giant granny square shape. Which, as you can see, you can't really tell right now because I'm still in the process of squaring up the sides. But once it gets there, it'll be good. And then once it gets to the width I want it to be, I'm just going to go back and forth across the top and bottom to make it the length I want it to be. So right now it's a pretty sizable lap blanket, but I think it was up to here before. Up to this last one. Yeah, because I don't have any of that Caron Simply Soft anymore. But these 5 rounds on the outside that I've added, each one of them is so big that it took me almost an hour to do 1 round. So yeah, this is just about done. And I do have another skein of the Super Saver Fair Isle that I'm using on it, just to stick with the gray and black. And I still have 2 little cakes of this left, which even though I've never seen this colorway, this feels a lot like Caron 1 pound. And this was actually in a 1 pound skein that I got from a mill end bag at Joann's. This is all that's left of it. So even though initially I said that I wasn't probably going to be able to make the goal that I found that somebody else posted of using up 25 pounds of her goal is acrylic yarn by the end of the year, I might get closer to it than I thought I would. And if I add in fabric, I'm definitely going to be using up 25 pounds of crafting stuff before the end of the year, which is kind of cool. For now, that is that, which I have in this giant plastic bag that I got from Joann's. Because in our area of Washington, most of the counties, with the exception of the commissary and the PX on post, have banned plastic bags. So I just buy a canvas bag or 2 every time I go out. And then I have somewhere in the ridiculous realm of 20 bags from different stores that I just take with me to put all my stuff in. So this is in a bag that I got from Kendra from Hooked by Happenstance. Her Summer Blues 2018 Mystery Bag Club. I got 3 really cool bags that are this medium size. And in this bag is where the Tri-Peak Fade Shawl that I'm testing for Holly from Yarn Journey is living. And I am definitely not going to have the entire pattern done by the deadline, but I should be completely through into the second peak, well into it by then. And I haven't had any problems with the pattern so far, so Holly, if you're watching this, it's all gravy for me so far. But last time I showed it, I had from here to this marker here, and I've gotten from here over to here, and I finally got the third color in, which is super exciting. This is all yarn that I have hand dyed myself. This is the graphite colorway. It's kind of a brownish black tonal. It was kettle dyed. This one is Lucky Harlot. Yes, this one is Lucky Harlot because it's all of the leftover bits from the Harlot yarn except the green, and it's just an orange-black speckle. And this one that I'm just starting to get into with this awesome chartreuse green is the actual quasi-striping Harlot colorway. Pretty cool. I'm excited. And this is actually just the first point. There are two more. And the size that it is right now, I think that it would actually be kind of cool to just kind of go through this color change and finish off the whole pattern, because this would make a pretty substantial scarf just on its own as one right now. If you were to go through and do the other point on the other side, I mean, yeah, be pretty cool. But I am going to do the whole thing. It's something that I'm chipping away at. My biggest problem is when I get into a part where I'm at right now where there's a lot of back and forth color changes, it's not as mindless for me, so I can't really watch TV or be working on it while I'm with the kids. But once you're into like this middle section where it's all just the same color back and forth, it's a lot easier. So I am excited for having this because this is made with fingering weight yarn and it's so soft. It's going to be so good for once it gets colder here. Note I said colder. It doesn't really get cold in Washington. I'm from New York, so the maybe down to upper teens, early 20s temperatures that we get in Washington is nothing compared to what they get back in New York when it gets to be 20 below 0 Fahrenheit. And you'd still have to go to school. Yay! So the last thing I have that I am working on that is yarny, that I've actually been crocheting, is, oh, what was it called? Originally, I was working on the Just Marl It pattern, which is you have two colors of yarn that you're working with stranded together, and as you're working and you fade out different colors, it kind of gives it an ombre effect. And I didn't like the way that the extended single crochet it called for looked with two colors of yarn because it didn't really showcase the stitch. It just kind of got lost in all of the busyness of the color changes. So a few rows in, I switched it to just half double crochet through the back loop only. And right now, let me see if I can find it. This is getting heavy. So this is why I said that I might actually be using up the poundage of stuff that we're going for. So last time I showed it to you guys, I was right here where my little happy donut stitch marker is, if I can get a hold of it. There we go. Maybe. There we go. Little happy donut stitch marker. But that was where I was last time, and now I've gotten all the way down to here. Not nearly wide enough yet. I think once I finish this section with the gold, I'll probably switch back to an orange and then do another red and then get back down to this cream and call it good, because it's just a throw blanket. It's pretty long, but I'm only making it wide enough to really cover one person. I mean, lengthwise, I would say that it's probably about 5.5 feet, because I'm 5'8", and this is a little bit shorter than my wingspan, so yeah. I haven't woven in the ends yet, but the alternating color that I'm using after these sections, the gray that you see through here with these color changes, that is a Red Heart Ombre. that I'm using as the secondary color. So it's kind of tying it all together, giving it a little bit of cohesion. But I'm mostly sticking for fall-ish colors. Fall leaves, red, orange, yellow. Thought about adding in a brown, and then I was like, I don't really want to do brown. So that is it for crochet stuff. I don't have any knitting stuff. I did go through my standing tower o stuff over there and got all of my bags that are full of works in progress into one location. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks I'll get to look through them and figure out what to do. I actually frogged a few things this morning because I looked at them and I was just like, yeah, nope, not gonna touch that again. Nope. So now it's back added into my stash, which is good. So other things I'm going to show, I do have a few bags that I finished, and by the time this goes up, these should be in my Etsy shop because I've already taken pictures. I just need to edit them and make them into listings. So I have 2 of each in each of these prints. These are tote bags, so they will be a little bit pricier than just the regular drawstring bags because of all the extra work that goes into the handles and the snaps. And these have interfacing, so they're sturdy enough to stand on their own. You guys have already seen this one, but in case you didn't see it, I will show it again. This has all the really nifty Halloween cupcakes. And on the inside, it has just this white fabric that says trick or treat and all of that with some bats on it. Has the magnetic snaps, and these ones also have the loop that's inside that you can attach a stitch marker or your keys to if you're using this as a purse. I like the tote bags better than the drawstrings because I'm all about multi-purpose things. So I like being able to either have this be a project bag or just a handbag, and I can just chuck my phone and my wallet in there, snack for the kids, whatever, a book. So I have 2 in this, and the other one that I have is another cool fabric that I showed you guys a while ago before I got a chance to make it into anything. And this is the same size. These are both medium-sized bags. They're about 12 by 14, somewhere in that range. So this is all of the nifty, dark, not quite so kitschy Halloween print here. And the inside is an orange and black and white argyle. This has snaps like the other one. This one does not have the loop in it because I forgot to put it in as I was sewing it together and looked at it in the pile next to the sewing machine when I was done and went, aw crap. But these bags also have these squared corners, the boxed bottom. I have 2 in this, and I actually have 2 8x10 pouches, which will be 7x9 once they're sewed up. But I also have 2 pouches in each of these, and those will have interfacing as well. So those are perfect for cosmetic. Be good for a pencil case, be good for a snack bag. I don't know if they're big enough to fit diapers in, but it could potentially work as a diaper clutch. It's been so long since we had diapers in the house, I didn't really get to test that, but it could potentially work that way. So those are the bags. Like I said, those should be up in the shop by the time this video goes up. The last thing that I have, hello Mr. Kitty Cat. And yes, we're all sick. Again. again. We were better for a week, and then Hunter had his checkup, and being at the doctor around all those sick people, surprise! We brought home germs, yay! So the last thing I'm going to show you guys is yarn that I got dyed over a week ago now, I believe. I spent one afternoon and just went nuts and got all of the rest of my worsted weight dyed up. And other than the worsted weight, I do have a few that are sport weight, which is slightly heavier than fingering, but not quite as heavy as DK. So I'll show those first because there's only a few. So this one is kind of a tonal with some speckling. I'm calling this one just Autumn because everything about it screams leaves. And my husband keeps saying that red isn't a fall leaf color, and I ask him if he did not grow up near Canada in Maine where there are many maple trees. Maple leaves are the most gorgeous red color you will ever see in your life. I miss living around them so much. But yeah, there's a lot going on in here. And this is, like I said, it's sport weight. I can't remember what the yardage is on it, but these should be up in my shop by the time the video goes up too, so then you'll know. There's only one of these. There's two of this one. This one I am calling Hocus Pocus because the colors remind me very much of Winifred Sanderson, who is my favorite from the movie Hocus Pocus. And this is speckling, but the way that it's done, it's almost in a striping pattern. This end is all of the oranges with some purples and a little bit of black here and there. The center section is purple speckling, and this is all the bright chartreuse green, which I really, really like. But again, this is sport weight, and there are two of this particular one. All wound back up here. There we go. So there are two of these. And they are a wool nylon blend. All of these are a wool nylon blend. And all the rest of this is worsted weight. I've got two in this orange color, which I'm just going to call basic, because people refer to girls that enjoy pumpkin spice lattes and things of that nature as basic. So this orange is going to be called basic, and it is not only a kettle dyed tonal. I don't know if you'll be able to see with the light, but there's also a bit of speckling there. There we go. So there's two in that orange. I have two in this yellow color, which I'm not sure what I'm going to call it yet, but it is yellow and it has speckles in it, a lot like the elm and oak leaves that I remember from back home when I was a kid. There's a little bit of green and orange here and there in them too. So there's two of those. And yes, these are all of my autumny colors. I have 3 more bags of yarn to dye. One of them is a sparkle sock base. The other one is just sock. And I think I have 1 more bag of sport weight yarn. I want to get all of that dyed up and ready to go by Halloween. Some of it will probably also be more holiday-ish colorways just to get it gone. This is a red kettle dyed tonal, which with it being red and the light being crap will probably not show true to color, unfortunately. But this is a gorgeous red, and this is just maple, because like I said, maple leaves back home are this beautiful, rich red color. And this is another Hocus Pocus. 2 of these, but these are in worsted weight. And the last one, whoa! Ah! Yarn avalanche, no! Oh, there we go. And this last one is kind of a more spooky, I suppose, origin colorway. I was planning on doing some more things like this, but I just haven't had the urge to dye things again yet. So this one, there are 2 of, and there's a lot of different colors going on in here. But it is speckled, and there's red and brown and black and some grays in there. But this is the Dybbuk box colorway. Another little random supernatural lesson. Dybbuks are essentially demons in Judaism, and in order to seal away these negative spirits, they put them in a box which is blessed and covered in wax, usually a red wax, at least the ones that I've seen anyway. So, spooky origin colorway. And like I said, it's speckled all throughout, and these are the last of the worsted weight yarn that I have. There's a lot of different colors going on through here. So this would go well with the red or any other variety of things, really. But yeah, so there's that. And fun fact about me, if you didn't know, Randy likes spooky things, so I also have plans for a Ouija colorway, which will be reminiscent of the colors on a Ouija board, so it'll be like gray, black, white, tonal type of deal. So yeah, there's 2 of those. That is all of the yarn that I have. Like I said, I will be getting those photographed and up in my shop for later today. So by the time I get this edited and get everything up, it should all be ready to go. So I can't guarantee they'll still be there because some people who already follow my Etsy shop are pretty quick to jump on things. But that is all of that. And the last thing that I wanted to mention was, like I said earlier, I'm supposed to be having a craft market middle of October. Unfortunately, Adam's going to be leaving for a school for an entire month during that. Yay, super fun. And thinking about it and thinking about how much babysitting costs, I don't think I'm going to be able to do it because I don't think I would make back my table plus what it would cost to have somebody watch my kids from 8 in the morning until 6 o'clock at night. So I'm going to talk to the event coordinator and see if I can switch my deposit for a table to the event they have in November, which is, you know, the same price. They still have a few spots open. So I'm going to see if I can switch it to then so that it will not only make it immensely more likely that I'll be able to do it because my husband will actually be back home, but I will have more time to get things made because the last few days I've been looking at the paltry things I have and I'm trying to decide if I should be doing more sewing based things to take with me because they're so much quicker, or if I should just focus on maybe 5 crochet projects and have everything else be sewn and take yarn with me that I've dyed, and just all the things have got my brain going in like 500 different directions, and yeah, fun. And I've been working on getting my craft space organized again because it right now very much has the lived in and used look, which means there's stuff everywhere. If you're in the Facebook group, you probably saw, I think last weekend or sometime this week, I had posted pictures of what my desk looked like and then what my desk looked like afterwards and how I had cleaned it all off and got things put away, and it was so nice and clean, and now it's covered in crap again. It's been like 5 days and I've been upending so many things, just searching for stuff and trying to find things to finish, and all of those blanket whips that I've had sitting around for forever have just been talking to me so much lately because it's starting to get cold, and it's nice to crochet a blanket when it's getting cold because you can set it in your lap as you're working on it and be toasty and warm. Yeah. So thank you so much everybody for watching. Check out my Etsy shop if you're interested in any of the bags or yarn that I showed you. And I am up over 2,300 subscribers now, which is pretty cool. Getting up there, working on moving onward and upward. And as I said, I want to do a Voodoo Doll tutorial. I want to do a tutorial for Hemo the Happy Blood Droplet. And I would really like to do a mini F-bomb tutorial. I just have to make a couple of tests of that pattern to make sure that it's all good. And then I'll be able to get that done too, because I know I want to have F-bombs for the show regardless of whether I go in October or November. Yeah. Lots of things going on. Lots of things. So again, thank you so much everybody for watching, and I will catch you all in the next video. Bye.